Oh god, I gotta remember how Sherlock sounded. Pretty sure he sounded like this. February 19, 12:53 p.m. Sholmes Suite. This is where the great detective makes his living. Feels surreal to be here somehow. As it is described in the story, Miss Suzuto? Suzuto-san? Many famous cases have been solved here in this very room. Oh, I suppose they must have been, yes? Never read the story, so it's hard to get quite as excited about it as she seems to be. The detective chases the villain relentlessly as he disappears in the fog down an unlit London street. Oh, the thrill of it, the romanticism. Can't you feel your heart thumping in your chest? Can't you, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, I suppose I can, yes. So if you don't mind, I'll just stand here and soak up the atmosphere for a while longer. Please, don't mind me. She's obsessed. Well, looks like our detective friend isn't home and present. Excuse me, is anyone home? Oh no. Oh, do we have a visitor? Jesus Christ. Oh no, Wilson, please. Hello, it's a big new case for Mr. Is it a big new case for Mr. Sholmes? Yeah, hello. Wait, aren't you... Oh, how rude of me. I'll go and make some tea at once. This is gonna be terrible. I'm sure it's the same girl. This is Suzuto. Did you see that girl who was just here? Oh yes, isn't it truly extraordinary? To think that the king of Bohemia came to visit his very room to ask Mr. Sholmes to take on his case. The king of Bavaria? King William, oh my god. King Wilhelm Gostenreich Sigmarsson von Ormstein, of course. Sorry, I'm drawing a blank. Forget the adventures of Sherlock Sholmes for a moment and look over here. The tea is brewed. I have a freshly baked cake as well. I fucking hate this theme. This theme is terrible. Ah, it's you. I knew it. Suzuto-san recognizes her too. There you are. And taking that with you as well. I was looking forward to the trial run of my experimental smoke grenade launcher. Oh, good day to you. I'm, well, the inventor, I suppose, of that machine. This is the girl who turned up at the end of Mr. McGilda's trial in the defendant's antechamber. I've never met a lawyer from the Far East before. Poor you, having to get straight to work when you only just arrived in London. Oh, yeah, it was challenging. Well, try this tea, it's my special blend, you know. Oh, thank you. Is tea supposed to look that color with you? Oh my, what a fragrant yet mellow flavor with you. Hooray, it's a winner. I tried blending different leaves designed to alleviate fatigue, you see. You must be exhausted after your long voyage here, and you have another ticklish trial tomorrow. How do you know that? Oh, and you're gonna defend a Japanese man. I do wish you lots and lots of luck. Mr. Sholmes tell you about us by any chance? Oh, you know Hurley, do you? Harley? Mr. Sholmes? To you? Shirley? Mr. Sholmes was a fellow passenger on the boat that brought us to Great Britain, you see? Was he really? Well, I had no idea. I'm afraid Hurley's out of an errand again today, even though he's just returned from overseas. Wait a minute. I met this girl for the first time yesterday after the trial, and only briefly at that. How on earth does she know so much about us? Deduce all those things, do you think? Perhaps, oh my god, I just remembered. It just blew my mind. Okay, see, look, when Wilson's not there, when Wilson's not there, we're the guy correcting Herlock, but she's actually the gene. She's actually the one who corrects him usually. And perhaps more to the point, why is she here in Mr. Sholmes' suite? Oh, silly me, I haven't introduced myself, have I? I know her name's Wilson. That's not a spoiler, because her name's usually Watson. It's a great pleasure to meet you both. My name is Iris Wilson. I live here together with Hurley, and I have a terrible theme song. Iris, is it? What a lovely name. You know, my great-great-great-great-child dates someone named Iris, you know. She's kind of a bitch, you know. What? What's the matter? No, wait, this can't be. Did you say your name? Your name is Wilson? What's the matter with Suzuto-san? Why is she so flustered all of a sudden? Yes, that's right. And what's your names? Oh, I'm Ryunosuke Naruhodo, a lawyer from Japan. Oh, sorry. I'm Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant, Suzuto Mikitopa. It's wonderful to meet you. Lovely, Susie and Bruno. Got it. Susie? Susie? And Bruno? There's more to this girl than meets the eye. I have so many questions for her. I don't know where to start. Yes, and so do I. Iris. It was you that we ran into the Bailey yesterday, wasn't it? It was you that we ran into yesterday, wasn't it? At the Old Bailey? Yes, that's right. You're ever so helpful. Thank you so much. Oh no, not at all. I'm so sorry we couldn't have been more welcoming. Though at the time, we didn't have a rather large gun pointed at us. Like this? Like this? Ah! Thinking back now, you left with Miss Lestrade and Toad, didn't you? Oh yes, but that awkward witness, Gina Lestrade. Lestrade. Oh, Ginny? Yeah, she's a professional pickpocket. So we found out. It's very naughty of her to pinch my invention like that. How do you pickpocket something so big? Are you referring to the trial-disrupting, gun-like contraption? Exactly, so I followed her, you see, to get it back. Perhaps I should think about fitting a self-destruct mechanism in my inventions. Girl is dangerous. Anyway, I brought Ginny back here after that, so she could apologize to my trusty tactician. Sorry, your tactician. Hurley, of course, silly. Hurley? Yes, Herlock Sholmes. We live here together. I have no idea the great detective is such an interesting young daughter. Daughter? No, not likely. What? He probably considers you his daughter. Is that going to be one of the emotional bits there to use against me? I don't appreciate that. I wanna call him Hurley if he was my father, would I? Debatable. Well then, what is your relationship with Mr. Sholmes? Well, I expect you found out that lodging of any kind in London are very expensive. Solution is to share the cost with a partner, a roommate. You are roommates? And they were roommates. Oh my god, they were roommates. I mean, don't mind me asking, Iris, but how old are you? 10 at last this year. Bitch, just say 10. Well, what of your mother and father? Oh no, they're not around. Oh, I see. I wonder what the story is there. Well, one of them's dead. You know, the great professor who showed up in the first case. That's totally, you know, the Wilson. Or the Watson, if you want to be like a loser mill about it. Oh yes, there's something I must ask you. Oh my god, my voice is shredding doing two female voices. Of course, go ahead, Susie. I'm a very great fan of the adventures of Sherlock Holmes, and... Oh, you have a copy of Rat's magazine? Yes, I read every issue. I delivered all the way to Japan on a ship. Oh, this is so exciting. My stories are being read on the other side of the world. My stories? That's right. Apparently he's always solving such amazing cases you see, and he tells me all about them. They really are quite fascinating. It'd be such a shame if I was the only one who ever heard them, don't you think? Goodness! Last night he was telling me all about a new case he just solved in a steamship traveling from faraway land. I was just in the middle of typing out the manuscript for the next issue before you came. Hey, that's us! So you are the author? So you are the author? Wow, they don't spell author with a U? Okay. Alright, crazy England English. Yes, I'll let you in on a secret if you're gonna call it the latest event. Yes, I'll let you in on a secret if you like. I'm gonna call this adventure the Speckled Band. Okay. The Speckled Band, that's certainly very familiar. Of course, I always change one or two details in the story here and there. This time, I had the idea of making a venomous snake would be the cause of all the trouble. Oh, that was Mr. Sholmes' first thought as well, actually. Yes, and of course, I know that a snake might be credible for the facts of the case. Exactly, but it's a story. Some poetic license is justified to make things more thrilling, I think, don't you? You mean to say, are these stories about Mr. Sholmes that are published in Rat's magazine all written by me? Yes, on my wonderful and very modern typewriter. But all the stories I've ever read were written by a doctor of medicine, Dr. H. Wilson. Vizito's getting more and more worked up. Yes, that's me. I mean, my name really is Wilson. But what about the doctor of medicine part? That's all true too. I'm a doctor of medicine. No, at 10 years old. At 10 years old. Well, that's quite incredible. But, Dr. Wilson is an English gentleman. Dr. Wilson is an English gentleman. Ah, yes. I did alter the setting slightly for the stories to be more compelling. Oh. Well, sounds a little strange, doesn't it? A great detective with a 10-year-old girl in tow? I suppose it does. Yeah. She's so sad. Where's Suzuto-san? She looks like her whole world is just falling apart. Oh no, the terrible team's back, please. No, I won't go back. Take me back. I don't want to go. I don't want to be here. I'm about before. Yes. What's on your mind, Ryuno? Do tell me. How do you know that I was a lawyer? Just arrived in London, I mean. Yes. Oh, and that we have a difficult trial tomorrow. How do you know all that? Oh, that's what you mean. Please, tell us how you did it. Explain every little detail. Of course, I'll be delighted. Although, there's really no mystery. Now, let's begin. Oh god. She's about to deduce us, boys. Iris Wilson is proud to present her logic and reasoning spectacular. Oh no. Ah! Oh god. First of all, I knew already that you were a lawyer, Ryuno. After all, I met you yesterday at the Old Bailey in the defendant's antechamber. We also said that we're only just arrived in London. How do you know that? I observed a passport and a travel ticket protruding from your breast pocket. Oh. I was reasonably confident that you must only have just arrived in the country. On top of that, You accepted a case against the particular prosecutor, telling me you were unaware of London's court affairs. Reaper the Bailey? I walked right into that one, didn't I? Then I noticed a red ink stamp on the back of Susie's hand. You were given that when you visited the local prison to meet with the suspect, weren't you? Earlier today? Ah! I use these stamps to keep a close eye on comings and goings, you see? I didn't realize. And a red stamp is only used for people visiting foreign inmates. So that told me that even though you had only yesterday concluded the trial of Magnus McGilden, the two of you had already caused a visit of a foreign inmate at a local prison. However, neither of you were wearing a particularly sad expression on your face. So I concluded that the prisoner was unlikely to be a friend or a relative. It led me to believe that you must have accepted a new case. I see. How could you have known that in the trial is tomorrow? Well, having barely been home a few hours yesterday, Hurley solved yet another case. It obviously amused him. He told me that he caught a Japanese man who was bawling and trembling. Japanese man? Clearly, that must have been... Mr. Natsumi! Now, Vernie has his fancy Japanese sword. And I think your outfit is called a kimono, isn't it, Susie? Well, anyway, it's clear to me that you both came from Japan yourselves. So I put two to two together and decided you must be defending the Japanese man Hurley caught. And there was only one conclusion those facts could lead me to. You both came here to ask Hurley about the case. Damn, she just deduced us, BB. She just got us. There's a note on the mantelpiece that says the man's trial will be tomorrow. Hurley is always stabbing his nose with a knife, you know. He's silly. And that's all there was to it, really. Thank you for listening. I'm Iris Wilson, and that was one of my great deductions. Well, was it a winner? Were my deductions correct? They were spot on. That was amazing, Iris. Truly a great deduction. We even managed to discern something of Mr. Shom's delivery. Oh well, I was just copying Hurley's style for that. This is really good news. You could tell us all about the case involving the Japanese man. You will, won't you, Iris? Please? Okay. God, why don't investigations ever just end? I think that is genuinely one of my criticisms so far. This Ace Attorney gets on with it. Not the great Ace Attorney. The Ace Attorney likes to take things slow, and I like the more action-packed speed racer kind of thing that the regular Ace Attorney does. So yesterday, Mr. Shones apprehended a Japanese man, you were saying? Yes. Early, I just arrived back in London after a sea voyage. But the police were waiting for him at the railroad station to take him directly to the crime scene. Ah, the great detective is a popular man, isn't he? Apparently, a woman was stabbed on a quiet street somewhere in town. There were witnesses who had seen a short, shifty-looking, stooped man running away from the scene. A short, shifty-looking, stooped man. Mr. Natsumi, beyond any doubt. Soseki-san said that he didn't see anyone else on the street at all. Seems there were witnesses after all. Riley used his great deductive power to determine the man's address. It was a lodging room very nearby. He went directly there with the police, and what did they find? A short, shifty-looking, stooped man, shivering in fear. Shom's great deduction certainly hit the mark this time. Of course it did. He's a great detective. Still, that means the incident occurred only 2 days ago. Surely tomorrow is soon for the trial, isn't it? Definitely. We have no time to investigate properly. Get used to it. Riley says that London is rife with crime. Oh. Scotland Yard is doing its best, but they can't stay on top of it apparently. Oh dear. Oh dear, I didn't realize the situations were so dire.
That's why they couldn't afford to spend so much time investigating cases and trying the criminals in court. Staff and money are both short. Crimes are usually pinned on the first suspicious person. It's terrible. I suppose it's the harsh reality of the workings of the world's greatest justice systems.
I suppose it is, but in that case, I don't hold that much hope for Soseki-san. Thank you for answering so much of our questions, Iris. This has been very informative.
Oh, you're most welcome. I have so much fun.
Do you happen to know where Mr. Sholmes is at the moment? If you guess, we'd like to ask him some questions about this case as well.
Ah, well... I expect Hurley is still investigating the scene.
The case involving Mr. Natsumi, you mean?
Yes, Mr. Nats... Oh, May?
Oh, Natsumi.
Hurley said he's gonna go to the man's lodging. If you leave now, you'll probably catch him there. Iris, do you know where those lodgings are? I imagine the police are still investigating the scene of the crime themselves, aren't they? Did you happen to come across a detective by the name of Gregson while you were there?
Yes, we know Inspector Gregson.
Oh, goody. In that case, do Gregsy this for me, wouldn't you? If you do that, I'm sure I'll tell you what you want to know.
What is this? A 5-shilling piece?
A 5-shilling piece and a postcard, it seems.
Iris's postcard has been entered into the court record. Card for Inspector Gregson with a message on the back from Iris.
It reads, tell the gentleman in black. Oh, it reads what it reads, tell the gentleman in black whatever he wants to know. I trust that won't be a problem.
Are they?
Gosh, this will make the inspector help us, will it?
Well, thank you, Iris. We'll give it a try.
Good luck then. I'm gonna return to writing my manuscript, The Speckled Band. I'll be making more special blends of tea. We'll come back soon. Oh, I'll be delighted. Thank you very much, Iris.
God.
Well, Mr. Naruhodo, back to the scene of the crime.
Oh, wait. Oh, don't force me there. Wait a minute. No, wait. It's somewhat dubious that we can exert influence over the man of Scotland. Not at all. Handed back to the scene with Iris's curious note and one of the world's heaviest silver coins in hand. That a to be continued? That's a bruh moment, okay. I'm remembering more about this case. I'm remembering witnesses. Actually, I remember the jurors really well, actually. Well, I guess let's get going.